Today we welcome Kiera Dillon, our marketing manager here at Inspired Vibe. Kiera is the point person on all of our accounts. We often call you air traffic control. Since our clients work with a team, they need one person that's their main point of contact, but you're account manager, but you're so much more, and we're going to dive into that. And we're really, really excited to finally have you here on the show. Hi, Kiera.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
All questions require 100% honesty, even though we're your bosses.
All right.
Well, let's get into it. Kristen, did you want to start us off?
Yeah. So I don't think I know the answer to this question, but did you always want to get into marketing?
No, I really didn't. I started my career path wanting to get into sales, and then I worked in sales at a marketing company, and that's really what showed me that I really like explaining the product and being totally supportive and behind what I'm selling and finding creative ways to pitch that. And I think that kind of drove me towards the marketing side of things more versus sales. And with COVID and everything, right, like I no longer worked with that company. And so I tried different parts of marketing, like graphic design work, social media management, and that showed me I really did want to go down this path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember when we put the job description out, we wanted to just put like mini Amber. We really needed like another Amber in the business. And then when we got your resume, we were like, oh, this is it. Oh my gosh. So I just think you have like the natural abilities of your role, and it's very organic.
Can we tell the story of when we gave Kiera her homework? Because we gave everybody a homework assignment, right?
And the contract.
Oh, yeah. Tell us.
Kiera's homework, she went above and beyond. I mean, how many pages
5
long? Yeah, so we just asked her to give us some examples of her work, and yes, we were very specific, but it was like, whoa. She went above and beyond, so that was awesome. And actually, that's definitely what you do for our clients, which we absolutely love. And then we also have an agreement that every new team member has to sign when they come on board. And she redlined the shit out of that thing. We were like, okay, we don't really have time for this, but we fully respected it. And definitely like true to form, like your whole time with us, you've been the exact same way. You're not just going to, look at something and go, okay. No, you're going to go through it with a fine tooth comb and make sure that if it has your stamp of approval, that you've gone over every line, which is admirable and a little obnoxious.
But exactly what that role needs.
We love you.
Yeah, exactly what that role needs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we're going to say something?
No.
So we want to know what you do for inspired clients. But I want to preface this with a comment that, yes, there was a job description, and yes, you fulfill it, but there's also the way that you treat our clients. There's the way that you feel clients should be treated. So I really want you to speak to both of those things. Yes, you have a job function, but also your approach and your mindset when you're working with clients. So what do you do for inspired clients?
Yeah, I think that every client needs to be treated like we need to treat every client like we're their biggest advocate, right, on everything. And I think that's the main, like, what I really do. And I mean, like you said, I serve as air traffic control and that point person, but there's a lot more that goes into it, like that extra above and beyond thought that you have on, okay, how is this going to impact their business? How is this going to impact them? What decisions can I make to proactively reach their goals and really drive the value of what we do to the client?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, I think, if anyone's out there protecting the client's interests, it's definitely you. And I think that's why we switched your title to account manager, because you really are, and everybody's kind of dipping into the client as far as like the work goes and getting things to, reaching the client's objectives and things like that. Like everybody has a separate role. We have a team that does social media. We have a team that does PR. We have, team that does websites. We have graphic design. We have all the things, communications, and you're kind of like the hub of all of that, which I don't know, we didn't originally design the business to have that. It was going to be her and I. So that's why, I think it's such a valuable position. But
I think that's something really, really good to note to small business owners. A lot of them who are in that client-facing position, well, all of them are, right, when we first start out, that we had people tell Kristen and I that it's going to be challenging for you to scale because you're not going to be able to find somebody who's going to be able to, that the client is going to want to spend time with instead of you. They're going to constantly come back to you. They're going to constantly say, no, I actually want to talk to Amber and Kristen. And you proved the exact opposite of that. Our clients love you. They do reach out to you. It's never been a thing where they said, I don't feel like Kiera is going to be able to help me. I need to go around Kiera to Amber and Kristen, ever. Right. And so I think that's...
Or I don't get a response from her. Like, there's really no complaints unless someone's like unreasonable. Which we haven't had any of those, have we?
No, never.
No, not at all. Everyone's perfect.
So, Kiera, when you're in your role, tell us, because it sounds like your role, if I was listening, I would think your role could be, there's like a lot coming at me, and how do I organize, and prioritize, and how do I make sure everybody feels seen and heard, both on the team, right? Because you don't just work with the clients, then you're also communicating with the team. The team has questions for you. What is your mindset? What is your approach when you go into a day? Especially it's a day when you're going to be on a podcast. You've got back-to-back meetings. You had a client meeting right before this. What's your mindset or what's your approach just to kind of help you get ready for your day so that you can be there for everybody in the way that you are?
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot that goes into just the intention of the day. Like, what am I going to get done? How am I going to build value to each of our clients? And making sure that I'm managing my time properly so that I'm able to, whether that's, I know we have like that task list, right? That we want to get everything done in that day, but making sure that we're also paying attention to where other markers are, like where other client accounts are, and making sure that we have those touch points. We check in on the account, what needs to get done every day. And as far as communicating with the team, definitely having that, like the little teams thing helps, seeing that, and you definitely can respond right away to the team. And I think that we've really come a long way too in our communications on the client accounts. It's just been really helpful. We work a lot more in like a dynamic way, especially on the fulfillment side. So it's been really helpful just managing throughout the day. It's been awesome just be able to touch every account.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like I really like seeing not only the emotional impact we have on our clients, and just watching their visions come to life with what we put together, from the brand to what we do on social media, the promotions, that kind of things, just really, again, taking those visions to life. But I also like seeing the fans that we build for our clients, right? Those people that are the ride or die, like support our clients. They're reiterating our brand messaging. Like the other day I was with a friend and I was like, hey, I've been really craving chicken wings. We should go to Sauced and Loaded. And they're like, how do you know about Sauced and Loaded? I was like, that's our client. They followed them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've been following them. And I was like, how did you know about Sauced and Loaded? He's like, well, everyone knows about Sauced and Loaded. So I think that's really cool. And that just like really is an impactful thing, especially doing what we do, because we love hearing that, right? So
yeah, it's so cool. And that's actually kind of part of our story when we talk to business owners who are thinking about hiring us. We go back to this story of when we very first started the business and our very first marketing client, which was Goodwin's in Crestline. And we did their social media. We did some other marketing things for them as well, but the big thing was the social media. And kind of the biggest thing that we learned is that if you're not, as a business, if you're not putting a message out there, then people are just going to come to their own conclusions about your business. Or it's just going to be whatever they've heard from somebody else, which could be something not very good. Maybe it was an off day and they met an employee of yours who is no longer with the company anymore, and now that's their impression. But with social media, you're allowed, or you're enabled to create a relationship with people that you'll never meet, or you might get to meet someday, but you may never meet, especially when your following is like up in the tens of thousands, or your views, like with Sauced and Loaded, are almost to 10,000. There's one on there that on TikTok that's almost to 10,000 views. I'm like, oh my gosh. Jeremiah, what's up? But it really is like, it's the whole team, everybody working together. So I love it. I totally geek out over it. And I'm so sorry if you who's listening is like, oh God, Kristen, shut up. But I just love it, from the whole journey, from the beginning of creating the brand. And, you know, if you have a logo, that doesn't mean you have a brand, you know? So the brand messaging and all of the elements that go with that, the story that you want the world to know about you, and what you do for your customers that makes them the hero, or solves their problems, or relieves their pain, you know, all of that stuff. All that messaging comes through the social media, and you're really developing a relationship with these people. So then they're going out, like your friend did to you, and saying, everybody knows Sauced and Loaded, like, and they're saying things about your business that you want them to say, that you wanted them to know about you, and they may not have known if you didn't have your social media account. That's the power of social media right now. I mean, I don't know if there was ever a time in marketing and in like the history of marketing that there was one singular thing that was so powerful.
I agree.
Yeah, it can reach so many people. So many people.
Yeah. TV commercials, like, those come and go, right? Social media, you can dial back in, you can check it out. It's coming up on stories. There's another post. There's a post every day, you know, stuff like that. But without the branding process, we don't have the right kind of messaging coming through the social media. So it's really like the whole team collectively. We said, what's up, Jeremiah? But at the same time, like, it all, you know, we deliver the brand book to Jeremiah so he knows what to talk about, you know?
Yeah.
But then he goes and he does his magic that we can't do. We're not good at, you know?
Right. And like you said, it's like with commercials, they come and go. Social media is always there, but social media is always something that people want to log on to social media. They want to see the content that's on social media. I don't know about you, but if a commercial comes on when I'm watching TV, fast forward button gets hit immediately, right?
Exactly.
So I think it's a really good way to engage people that want to engage with you and want to understand what you're doing. And I think it's, like you said, a really great tool.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you're watching a show and you're like, let me get back to my show. Who's interrupting my show? But with social media, and that's why social media can't just be constant advertising. Graphics. It's like, oh my God, unfollow.
Buy from me, buy from me, buy from me.
Exactly. So you want to entertain, you want to educate, provide value. And we honestly, like with our whole team, we sit around a table. We did it today for a new client, Sana Vidal. And we talk about, like, how are we going to make this content interesting? How are we going to draw people in? How are we going to give them value? And value where we're just giving it away and not expecting anything in return. So,
Right.
I have a question for you. So you are the design deck queen, meaning like you can take a presentation and it is unbelievable, the aesthetic that comes out in the end. What's your mindset when you're designing a deck, right? We've given you just a concept, or maybe a client has a deck. It's a presentation they're using for sales. Obviously, they want it to look better. What is your mindset when you create the as you're going through this process to create that game changer deck?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to say it all comes from me. I took a class at ASU, and it really helped me figure out like what needs to go in a deck to really captivate your audience. And I think that helped me a lot. They didn't really tell you about the design aspect, but that kind of helps guide me with the design, like what needs to go on what slide. If a slide doesn't have a lot of content, the design maybe should be a little bit more heavier there. And then aesthetic-wise, I like to look at the brand that I'm working with, but I think that making sure that you're appealing to everyone with the design, because you don't know who you're necessarily presenting to in the room. If you make it too... Like, if you really want to go, like, frilly with it, you might not be appealing to the person who's a little bit more rugged, right? So you have to really be careful with the design elements you use, using basic elements, but still making it very appealing to everyone's eye.
Yeah, it can almost be distracting if your audience is like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I love that. And I think that there's so many things that you and creatives do that other people don't understand, the level and the depth in which you go and you think about the person on the other end and the different types of people on the other end that would look at that and read it, need to comprehend it in order then to take action.
Right.
And so I love that. I love like unpacking those little creative hacks that people do. That's awesome.
Definitely.
What else?
Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your guys' favorite part about me being at Inspired Time?
That is such a very Kiera question. I love that. I love that. Dude, I can't imagine it without you.
Aw.
I know. You asked a question that's probably going to get some tears out of the blue. She'll be stone cold as usual.
Kristen's going to cry. She cries for both of us, though. I feel it. Just to come out.
Feel it.
I honestly couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine it without you.
Aw.
I did make her tear up.
Stop, because you're tearing up. I see it.
That's easy to do. No, I mean, like, just I think actually, to tell you the truth, it's watching you grow in your position. You know, I think in order to grow as a person, but also professionally, you got to be all in, you know, and you're definitely all in. In fact, like, sometimes we have to protect you from that. Like, but you've even grown in that area. You're like, hey, I got to be to the gym at this time, so I got to go. We're going to have to wrap it up, ladies, you know?
Yeah.
But just like I said about the contract, when we first sent you the contract and you redlined the whole thing, like, I can count on that you're going to do that. I love that. You're not going to half-ass anything is really like what that boils down to, you know? And we put our heart and soul into this business, and it means everything to us. And there's a lot on the line, you know? And so to know that you have our backs and we can count on you is like, I'm very grateful. But I guess that's not really my favorite part. Like, it's really like the giggling that we do. Like, we laugh about things. You know, we really should start making fun of Amber more, just the two of us.
Yeah.
I think that would be
I'm here for it.
that'd be fun.
I'm a good sport. Do I get to go now?
Yes.
So let's see. I do have to mention your coachability. I have left you some Friday night audio messages where I'm like, wow, you really got your ass kicked this week, Kiera. I'm sorry about that. But that just means the growth is on the other side
camp.
of it. Yeah. And you've responded.
Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you've responded so well to the challenges that you've met in your individual growth, growing in this company. The other thing is that while we put the intention out there to find a mini Amber, what we've talked about since then is that we actually found a mini version of the both of us, in the sense that you can both start and finish, right? I would never redline an agreement. I would just be like, sign it blindly. Here you go. I don't read the details. And you guys know I'm not the details gal on the team. So that's amazing that you have this ability to do both, and you can really fire up each side of your brain in those, because they're two completely different things, a starter and a finisher. And then I think you are, you know, what did Jeremiah say in that one meeting? We had an all-team meeting, and we were just tossing around kind of good things that had happened in the company that week, and he said something like,
Yeah, I think he kind of floored us all. He said,
it was a win for the week. We were going over wins.
yeah, I don't know what the win was, but he just said, you know, watching how Kiera goes above and beyond, and she works so hard and just wants to produce the best work, it makes me want to be better at my job. And I was like, oh my God.
You know, it was really moving, because you don't expect, like, I mean, it's really cool to hear.
Yeah,
So-
like thinking about like, oh, people are watching, because you're not doing it for that.
Right.
You're definitely not. That's not sustainable. If you're doing it for people, that's exhausting. So
Yeah, you are a lightning rod of energy for both clients and the company culture. I think that's a really unique thing that you bring. So thank you for that, Kiera.
well, let's get into the real juice, because I really wanted to ask Kiera this question, and you kind of gave me a little sneak peek at what your answer would be before, and I'm surprised. Actually, I thought it was gonna be something else. So, if you could inhabit any characters from any character's life from a book, a movie, or a TV show for 1 week, who would it be and why?
Yeah, I think
I thought it was going to be Frodo. I don't know.
You know, people used to say that in high school that I was the size of Frodo because all my friends were really tall, and I would always want to like borrow clothes and stuff. They're like, "Well, my pants are going to be way too long on you because you're the size of Frodo," and it was like it was a thing. So it's really funny that you say that.
That's funny.
But no, mine is actually Giselle from Fast and the Furious. I just think she's a really strong. It's also would be super fun to drive cars like that.
Yeah.
I think, and she just has a really strong character. She has a great like arc in that series. I mean, I know a lot of it's more of like the action. You don't really watch it for the storyline.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, I just think she has a really great character. It'd be really fun to be in that world, in that kind of action role, because it's a lot different than anything that I would ever think to do now, like in real life.
Yeah, does she have a job in that? Like most of them, it's like, how do these people make money to have these cars?
Yeah, they do like heists, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I feel like they don't really go into too much of their backstories on their jobs.
Yeah.
But she's a
Or
really,
either we weren't paying attention. We were paying attention to something else in those
I just
movies.
like her outfits.
Yeah, right.
That's my participation in the conversation.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious franchise has accomplished what they wanted to with the two of you, definitely.
Definitely.
What about you?
What?
I'm
not prepared. What's the question? I'm over here zoning out.
Inhabit any character's life from a book, movie, or TV show for 1 week, who would it be and why?
Oh, you guys aren't going to know what this even is.
Just say it.
Dagny Taggart in Atlas Shrugged.
Oh.
Yep, I know.
Are you just trying to, like, rise above us?
She's trying to save the world. She's trying to save the world from like it imploding and ending. Okay, I'm gonna ask you the question, and then if I think of something else, I need to make sure I ask it right. If you could, Kristen Joy, if you could inhabit any character's life from a book, movie, or TV show for 1 week, I can't wait for this answer. Who would it be and why?
I think there's probably a lot, because I do watch shows and kind of like, because I think because of that empathy thing in me, I kind of inhabit characters while I'm watching movies and shows. But I always just like the adventure of Indiana Jones. I want to be Indiana Jones.
That would be cool.
I loved it. I loved all those movies. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Kiera. Thank you for the gift that you are. Thank you for sharing your creativity with this company and with our clients, the heart that you bring everything you do. We are incredibly lucky, and our clients are incredibly lucky to have you. So thank you.
Well,
thank you for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity to have that impact on our clients and the team.
Yeah.
Nice. You're getting a raise. Just kidding.